Hi everybody, and welcome to this first tutorial of 2020, and I wish you all the best and the most artistic year ever. And I wanted to kick off really good, so I'm showing you my Andrew Loomis book here, and I want to dive into the Reilly method and figure out how faces are built up. So I'm going back to the base, and I found that this way of looking and seeing the lines and connections really does wonders for my portrait drawing. Now, under the Christmas tree, I got this book by Nathan Fowkes, and he is describing the Reilly method a little bit bigger than Andrew Loomis, and I thought that was so terribly helpful that I wanted to do a bunch of tutorials about this. And I will simply build it up. So today we will be discussing the front view. Next week we will be drawing that same front view. And you can see it here, and Nathan is describing this rather well, so please check out his book. I will make sure to put the ISBN number for you in the description, and I will also do this for the Andrew Loomis book that I've had for years, and this one is new and I love it. I totally love this book, How to Draw Portraits in Charcoal. And this is the other one by Andrew Loomis. So, what will this bring us? We will see. Another tip for you: buy a cheap sketching book and start putting in drawings there too for yourself. I call mine one Abstraction, and I want to dive into the rhythms that I can see in the face and also the connections between all the items that are in a face. They have to be connected. So here are my first, let's call it Reilly lines if you want. This is the one we will be doing today. It's the front one, the most easy one. Then next week we will be actually drawing a complete face. Then that week I will discuss the side view, the profile, and then later on the 3 1/4, the trois quarts as the French call it. And this is a side view and a trois quarts view also with those same Reilly lines, and you can see how obvious things are becoming. I love it. This is another sketch, and you can just see my sketches evolving. Oh yeah, and I want to do a tutorial about the bigger forms. You need to learn to see those too, so I will dive into that too. A little bit of anatomy, just a little bit. I will discuss that, but that I will do that while during the 3 poses. And this is another charcoal drawing that I did, and you can just see those lines even if they are not there. And hello, this is my sister Veroni. Hi Veroni. I started to draw her too, so well. But what we do first, and this is my face here, and I've taken 3 pictures of myself, one looking down, one looking straight forward, as in this one, and one looking upwards. Now, these are all front views, of course, and I couldn't find anything in any book, so I'll just, figure this out myself and share this with you. So these are the Reilly lines, and I'm going to draw them onto my face. And what we see first is here I'm looking down, and when you see the earlobe and the mouth, there is a huge difference there. And all prints can be found on my Patreon page, of course. If you want to draw along or watch this in real time, then you can take out the prints and start practicing for yourself. Now look at the connection of the corner of the mouth and the earlobes. These are huge, even though all the lines are just straight. These are all front views, and this does something, of course, for the Reilly lines. So let's see what happens. If I was to look down, first I want to see the middle center line, and as you can see, it's a little bit off the plump line here. So that's very good to already see at the first instance. And then I try to figure out where the skull would be. So let's say the contour line. The contour lines of the skull, and because there's a lot of hair on the top of my head, I have to draw through that. And then we can see the eye line. Now, when somebody is facing forward, then the skull could be divided into two. But this alters when the person is looking upwards. Then that line goes up too. And that is all the perspective that you need to see. Also, the nose bridge will be shortened as the person is looking farther and farther upwards. You can just see into the nostril, and maybe you can see my brain hanging in there. So there's a huge difference. You also want to know where the eyeballs are placed, and that big bone that is called the front head. That will alter too. So by doing this practice, making 3 pictures of yourself, or maybe you want to download these from my Patreon page and start exploring this for yourself, then you actually learn a lot. There is a big muscle going on around the mouth, and the sides of the head of the skull is flattened, and you can also draw in some 3D lines to get the feel of roundness. A head is round and everything is rounded, so that's the big difficulty, of course. And there is a lot of muscles going on in the face, and you can see them here. I'm drawing them in. These are the lines that come from the top of the ears and then go towards that chin. There's a huge muscle going on there. And you can see that also these lines start to look different as the person is looking downwards or looking upwards. So you have to get notice of that. Now this is another line, and that disappears into the corners, and it's going over those cheekbones. And also these start to become different as the person is placing its head in a different position. So you can see it broadening up here. And this is the lip line. Well, that's of a little bit less concern. And I also noticed that my lower lip is a little bit thinner than my upper lip, for instance. So while you are drawing, and I see some molds here that I wanted to draw in, I don't know why, but you also get to see some features of the person that will make you aware of where this person differs from the mediocre person. So by using a average face, you can now actually see where Lineke Lijn, for instance, is different from the mediocre person. You can see that big muscles going on, and it is so awesome. So maybe take a look at those books. They are very helpful indeed. But of course, I hope to see you again in part 2 of this Reilly method next Friday. Or maybe I will see you on my Patreon page, wherever we will meet. I don't care, as long as you keep watching, and I wish you all the luck on this drawing. See you next week. Take care.